heavy diagnoses. Sometimes kids, like the parents going in for something simple, like we need help with school accommodations. And then in that eval, you discover something way heavier, like an autism spectrum disorder, or maybe like a personality disorder, something like that.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up, because actually in the past I did have a case where a diagnosis came up and, mom and dad were really shocked and they're like, "Are you sure?" And I'm like, I'm 100% sure, because my testing is not just based on what I do with the child, it's based on questionnaires I give the parent. I'm like, these were your responses to behaviors you observe daily. So you told me what's wrong with your child, right? And so they had a hard time accepting it at first, but I told them very simply, you paid me for answers. I'm giving you the answers. It may not be the answers you want to hear, but I'm giving them to you. So now we can work together and move forward with a plan, right? This child was much younger, so we were ready in time for, to get her the right services and stuff, and they're thriving now, because I was able to follow up recently, and I like hearing good news about former patients, and she's doing great. So it's hard to, as a parent, right? We want our kids to be healthy and happy, and we want them, we don't want anything to be wrong with our kids. So when we get a heavy diagnosis like that, it's a blow to us as like our parenting, and I think we kind of take on that guilt of, where did I go wrong? But it's not necessarily that you went wrong somewhere. It's more of, these are just heavy diagnoses tend to be more, it's more like genetic makeup and composition, and it's not necessarily that you pass it on to your child, but it's a chemical imbalance in the brain, So on a more neurological perspective, these heavy diagnoses are a neurological and a chemical imbalance in your brain, and so we need to address that, and sometimes that is with just therapy or a combination of therapy and medication, but it doesn't mean that this is an end-all diagnosis. Your child is not going to be able to flourish in society, but having that diagnosis kind of takes a toll. And I just think that if the earlier then we can teach you to be empowered. We can provide that psychoeducation that's so necessary for you as a parent to be able to navigate whatever it might be with your child.